Hello everyone, this is Carrie from Celestial Forecasts with today's intuitive channeled message. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit late with this one. Normally if you tune into these, I usually post them on my channel every Friday. So just to get into a little bit of it as to what's going on with me lately, if you want to skip forward to the actual messages, I'll timestamp it down below. So for those of you guys that don't actually know, and this is not really something that I've put out there, so it may not be common knowledge for those of you who are regulars on my channel. So before I started doing card readings way before, like when I was a teenager. So this is something I've been doing forever. But something that I have always loved was baking. And so that's also been something that I've been very passionate about. I grew up in the food industry. My folks were in the restaurant industry. We had a deli, a bakery, a restaurant for many, many years. And so my sister and I, that was basically our summer job when we weren't in school, was to help out with the family business. So at the time, I was thinking, I don't really want to have a job where it's along the food line of deli, bakery, and such. And of course, once I had my own kids, I'm like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I want to go ahead and do something to be able to earn a little bit of money. What could that possibly be? And so, long story short, which is already a long story, as of 2004, I decided to take that leap and just start my own baking business on a whim, honestly. And so, again, this was something that I was passionate about. I loved doing it. And so it started. And 17 years later, here I was, a thriving business. Everything was going great. And then here we are, boom, with the pandemic. And once the pandemic hit, my business was an online bakery. And so what that entails is you would order a cake from me or whatever dessert that you wanted, and I would personally hand deliver it to either your home, your place of business, your venue if you were having a huge event like a wedding, a birthday celebration, things of that nature. So pandemic hits and the business just really came to a standstill. I mean, a literal standstill, especially once we were at the height of COVID and businesses were shutting down. So it just basically halted my business, and I had to ultimately figure out, what else can I do? And so I just threw in a lot more of my energies onto my YouTube channel. And believe me, it's been a love of mine as well. So I actually really do enjoy posting the content on my YouTube channel, and I will continue to do that. And so I literally, a couple weeks ago, started to declutter my house because I no longer needed all of the baking equipment, pans, racks, supplies, food colors, etc., etc. So I had posted this ad on Craigslist, and then I put it on the Facebook Marketplace just to start getting rid of stuff. And so a friend of mine whose parents were also in the baking business decided to reach out to me, and she's like, hey, we could use some extra mixers and baking racks. Do you have specific sizes that we need? At the end of the day, I didn't. They have a larger capacity bakery, and I was more of a smaller business. So she said, okay, well, no worries, but would you be interested in a cake decorating position at our bakery? And they have a chain of bakeries, and they're very successful. And so I figured, you know what? YouTube, I mean, the algorithm, it's been tripping for a couple years, possibly also due to the pandemic. And so I figured, you know what, we need the extra income. Let me go for it. And so that's what I've been doing. And that's what's basically been taking me away from being able to post more and being able to post more consistently, or at least on time. So the new lineup is that I've had to basically, or will be deleting my Patreon page very soon. So if you are listening to this and if you haven't seen my announcement, I am actually deleting the Patreon page as of the end of this month. And I'll just go back to my old schedule of doing the readings first half of the month, second half of the month for each zodiac, and there will no longer be the extended readings. It was just a lot of work, honestly. Instead of posting 12 readings, it was broken up, resulting in 24 uploads on 2 separate platforms. And honestly, it's exhausting, you know, to be able to do a lot of that editing and posting. It takes a lot of time and energy, which ultimately I just didn't have. And so that's where we're kind of at, and why this particular intuitive channeled message is posted late, because I actually worked a full day on Friday. And so I'm just kind of having to refigure my schedule. And so moving forward, the lineup will basically be, as I've mentioned, first half and second half of the month. Each zodiac will receive their love forecast like I did at the very beginning of when I started my channel. And we'll go ahead and continue to do the live streams, which we've been building an audience for that. And so if you're actually interested in participating in the live streams, the Wednesday one is a super chat live stream, meaning that if you're interested, you can donate a minimum of a $9.99 super chat to receive a mini reading, 5 minutes or so during the live stream. And that definitely gives you the opportunity at a discounted rate, because on my website, mini readings range from $35 to $75. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'd love to see you on Wednesday when we do the live streams. I believe we're going to adjust the time to 3 p.m. instead of 2 p.m. And yeah, I'll make that announcement on my Instagram page, and of course the community tab here on YouTube. And then we're still debating what day we can do the other live stream, which is more of a general love forecast that I do. And then towards the end of that live stream, I do choose 2 people that I can do a little mini reading for towards the end. So that's not necessarily a super chat session. I mean, that's always appreciated. But if you'd like to for sure get one done, I would recommend the Wednesday session, the super chat live stream. And whoever I don't end up getting to, then we'll give you the instructions on how to email my team so that you can, of course, still receive a mini reading for what you've purchased during the super chat live stream. And I will continue with the intuitive channeled messages. I don't think I'm going to be able to do them on Friday since I do work on that day. And so we'll probably switch it to Sundays like what's happening now. If there are any changes to when I will be posting that, then of course, you know, I will announce that ahead of time. So anyway, I have talked long enough. That's been what's going on with me. So that's why there hasn't been a whole lot of posts and content. I haven't had a job that has actually exhausted me to the point where I get home and I'm like tapped out. I just want to lay down. I'm on my feet all day. I mean, for those of you who have a bakery business and something along the same lines where you're on your feet literally all day, it's rewarding for me because I love it, but it's exhausting. And I haven't done that in a couple of years. So my body's just kind of having to get acclimated and get used to standing up again all day, you know. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I appreciate your love and support here on my channel. That will continue as far as the content that I'm uploading. But as far as the extended, we're going to do away with that. And I'm just going to be able to post as much as I possibly can with the time that I do have away from my other job. All right, guys. So thank you for listening if you've stuck around for this. And let's get into the channeled messages. All right, so if this is your first time listening to these, I like to focus on letters that could be a part of you or your person's name, any actual names that I am able to tap into and channel, zodiac signs that could be sun, moon, rising, or Venus for either of you. And then we get into the messages. I typically do tap into love connections, usually in separation or going through some stuff. But, you know, we'll see what presents itself. And sometimes I'll be able to pick up off of finances and other things. All right, so let's begin, guys, for those of you who are tuned into this. And it's timeless, so whenever you are able to listen and view this, hopefully there's something here that really jumps out at you and you're able to relate to it. All right, guys, so here we go. So I'm focusing on letters for the collective. J, C, G, A, E, D, L, K, N, H, M. Okay, so those are the letters. As far as names, Jack, could also be Jackie, Jacqueline. I'm also hearing Jackson, Carter, Caroline, Christopher, or even Chris, Garrett, Jeannie, Genie, Asher, Dean, James, could also be Jimmy or Jamie, Luke, could also be Luca, Ellen, and Elena, Elena, Elizabeth, Lisa as well. I'm actually seeing Kobe spelled a couple of different ways, C-O-B-Y as well as K-O-B-E. Al, Alan, Alfred or Alfredo, Nicholas, Nick, could also be Nikki, also Nico, Hayden, Hayden, Michael, could also be Mickey, Micah, or even Mika, M-I-C-A-H is what I'm seeing, Lee, L-E-E, as well as Lee spelled L-E-A or L-E-A-H, Kenny or Kenneth, Kendall as well, Maggie or Margaret. Okay, so that's what I'm picking up this time. As far as zodiacs, Gemini is jumping out at me right away. Aquarius, Aries. I'm actually picking up off of double Libra, so some of you guys, you could both be Libra or you could both have Libra representation in your chart. I'm also picking up off of Taurus as well as Scorpio. For Geminis, what I'm picking up here is you could be running into some challenges at this time, especially if you're starting something new. What I'm getting from my angel guides is you'll be fine. You will be able to rise above any obstacles or challenges that you do run across. And for my Aquariuses, the message that I'm receiving on your behalf is that you're being given the opportunity to go through an awakening about a particular person or a situation. I'm feeling a tickle in my throat here, Aquarius, so whenever that happens, usually there's something to do with the throat chakra, so maybe there's communication that is needed between you and this person where you need to express something or you need to speak your truth when it comes to a situation or a person. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic in nature, but I'm kind of picking that up for some of you. For Aries, what I'm feeling for you is there is teamwork that is needed. So if you're both not equally invested in the relationship, there's balance that's needed. You guys have to work together. That's what I'm getting there. For Libra, so we've got double Libra coming through here. This is definitely an energy that I'm picking up when it comes to your love life. Especially those of you who are either bickering or you guys just aren't seeing eye to eye right now. There's this need to bring peace back to the relationship. Because what I'm getting here is you and this person really care for each other and love each other. And take this if it applies. Maybe when you guys argue, the argument, some of the words that are spoken are very hurtful. So it's very important that you guys communicate fairly. That's the word I'm picking up, that it's got to be not necessarily a fair fight, but for lack of a better word, that's what I'm getting. So no low blows, in other words, you know, like you got to be mindful of each other and be respectful when you do have discussions that are a little bit on the challenging side. Take a look at the relationship and see what parts of it really need to be reevaluated, what parts of it need to be brought back into balance, you know. That's what I'm getting for Libra here so far. Now for Taurus, there's something tied into your self-confidence, your self-worth, and maybe it's got something to do with your job or your finances. Just know that things will eventually improve and get better. The sun will shine on that. So if you've been down about certain aspects of your life, whether love life, your finances, your job, or some other thing that's going on, the sun will come out again. And of course, the sun in tarot represents a very happy energy. So I have a feeling this is just temporary. Things will eventually improve and get better. And for Scorpio, what I am picking up here are changes. Lots of changes happening. You could be going through a major transformation in your life, and certainly that includes your love life. And I'm also getting that there's room for growth here for you, Scorpio. Okay, so just because I did not mention your sign does not mean that the messages that I'm about to tap into and channel cannot relate to you. Okay, so let me go ahead and see what is coming up for the collective. And I do usually channel for those who are at a distance or in separation, but you guys could also be together and going through some challenges. So let me see what I'm able to pick up through these channeled messages for you. Okay, I'm already picking up off of somebody who's feeling very sad because they're not with you. I'm picking up off of a person, you know, they're kind of shaking their head, like, what have I done? They've got some regrets. It's almost like they're really upset with themselves. Either they said something very hurtful or they did something to ruin the relationship and you guys are not together because of that. They're looking down at the ground and shaking their head, you know, like, oh my God, like, what did I do? That's the type of energy that I am picking up. They regret something. Either they said it or they did it. And then I'm also picking up that they're possibly feeling like it's too late to even fix this. It's too late. It's been too much time. Or maybe they know you've already moved on. Maybe you're with somebody else and they don't want to ultimately hurt you or ruin your life in any way. But they really do feel such remorse over the fact that you guys are not together. Now, this could be an ex. This could be somebody, and I'm seeing 3 to 5. So this could have been either 3 to 5 months, 3 to 5 years that you guys haven't interacted or talked. And if that's the case, you know, they do think about you, but they probably aren't reaching out because they're feeling like they would do more damage than good to be able to repair this. Or again, it might just be too much water under the bridge at this point. Let's see what else here. I'm hearing the words, I miss you. So there's somebody here who really misses you. They don't like being at a distance from you. And for those of you who have been wondering, does this person miss me? I'm pretty much getting that absolutely they do. They think about you all the time, and they've actually cried. You know, they've shed tears over this because you haven't been with them. And if they are the reason why you guys are not together, they're hurting, you know, right now. And it doesn't really matter how long it has been. This person is still hurting. For those of you that might be focused on a person and this is a recent breakup, they've definitely been affected by this. They have shed some tears. That's just how I am picking up off of this. I'm also feeling for some of you guys that you might have told them that you guys were done. Maybe there could have been infidelity in the relationship. I'm just picking up for some of you guys who are tuned in. You gave them the boot. Basically, you ended things, left them out in the cold, and maybe they weren't expecting it, you know, but I'm also picking up off of that doormat type vibe that, you know, maybe they treated you like that they disrespected you or just took you for granted. And at the end of the day, you know, they regret their actions and they're really not wanting to ruin your life. That seems to be the theme so far. Like, we've got people from the past that aren't really wanting to either reach out or communicate because they feel that maybe you're better off without them. But the care certainly is still there. The love certainly is still there. And so are the memories that you guys have shared, you know, and they reminisce about that and they do think about it. And especially when they are thinking about it, they really miss you and they feel it in their heart. You know, this hasn't been an easy journey for them to be apart from you, especially knowing that they could ultimately have been the reason as to why things unfolded the way it did, you know? So let me see what else I'm able to tap into here. Ooh, okay, so take it if it applies. What I am feeling here for this next message, it's an office romance or a love situation that is either currently happening or has happened at someone's job or you guys work together. It's at a place of employment, basically. And this was a romance that developed at a workplace. So if, let's just say, this is currently happening for you, and if you've been wondering if they're just as into you as you are into them, it's actually equal. So this is an equal exchange of attraction between two people, especially if you guys haven't really talked about your feelings, and this could still at this point just be like a crush, you know. So what I'm ultimately feeling here is that yes, they really are into you. Maybe they haven't told you, maybe they have, but you guys are on an equal playing field here. You're both into each other, and somebody simply needs to speak up and just maybe ask for a date or just let the other person know that they're actually interested. That could be you wanting to do that, or of course it could be the other person that you're waiting to take that first step to actually say that they're into you and that they like you or that they would love to go out and things of that nature. Let's see what else here. I'm also picking up off of unhealthy partnerships, unhealthy relationships that could actually be toxic for you, okay? And so if you are, for example, trying to fix someone for their issues, my angel guides are wanting to share that you can't fix them. They are going to have to fix their own issues. It is not up to you to be able to fix their issues, whatever that might be. I'm feeling for some of you it might have to do with mental issues or even addictions. And of course there could be infidelity, there could be third-party situations going on there, some sort of deception and betrayal for some of you. And this could be a repetitive pattern for this person. So doing their shadow work would actually be very beneficial because it would heal those types of behaviors. So if you're still holding on to somebody like this, just know that it might take a while for them to work through their problems, especially if they don't even acknowledge it, you know? This is something that you're going to either have a lot of patience for, or you're being directed to let it go, because if it really is meant to be a part of your life with this person, they're going to have to step it up. And if they don't step it up, you're just kind of in limbo when it comes to this person, and it's not moving, it's not going to go anywhere further. and you're not meant to just settle. You know, you're meant to be happy. And if what's preventing you from finding that happiness is holding on to this energy or this person where things just aren't working out the way you'd like, you just have to get to that place where you have to release. You have to cleanse them out of your life. You got to let go. And as long as you hold on, you're preventing those blessings from coming in for you. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for someone. Let's see what else I'm able to tap into here. Okay, so I'm just going to say it. So the word that's coming to mind is dance. Somebody could be a very gifted dancer. It doesn't matter what type of genre it is. It could be ballet, it could be hip hop, it could be so many things. It could be ballroom, but somebody has either been very gifted as a dancer, or could be a dance instructor. It could just be two people that really love to go out dancing. You both could really love music. There's something tied into that energy and that message for some of you guys. So I'd love to see that in the comments if that's something that you relate to. It could be one person is the instructor, the other one is a student, but it has something to do with dance. It could also be that you've received or will receive some happy news, and it's one of those things where you break out into a dance that you're so happy. It could be that as well. So let's see what else I'm able to tap into. Okay, so I'm picking up off of air signs for some reason, and it's interesting because all the air signs presented itself here: Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. So there's something tied into air signs for some reason. So again, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus for either yourself or the other person or both of you. So what's the message for air signs here? It's got something to do with love. It's definitely got something to do with your love life. And it's for those of you who are in separation. It could be you that's missing somebody, and you could ultimately be focused on someone that you either didn't appreciate when you guys were together, or maybe you ended up hurting them, or of course they could have hurt you. There's a separation here, but I feel, and I'm picking up off of a red heart energy, so I feel that this is somebody that you really cared for and loved. And I'm saying that in the past tense because you guys are not together at this point in time. I can tell you though that they think about you often, and I have a feeling that you think about them as well. Even for those of you who've already moved on to other relationships, even if this person is with somebody else at this point, there was something very special about this love connection that will forever tie you guys together. Not in an unhealthy way though. It's just one of those things where you know that that's a part of your life story. It's a part of theirs. And maybe you guys won't ever be able to reconnect, but for some of you, who knows? You know, you might be able to have a reconciliation somewhere down the line. But the red heart energy continues, meaning that the love between the two of you, that has not ever gone anywhere. It's still there. It's always been there, regardless of distance and time apart. Now for my air signs, if you relate to this, maybe that's something that you can relate to, that you will always hold this person in your heart regardless of where life takes you. And I have a feeling here that they feel just as strongly for you and only wishing you the very best in life, even if it's not with them in the physical sense to be with you in that way. They think about you often, and I can't help but feel that you think about them just as much. And again, not in an obsessive, unhealthy way by any means. It's just reminiscing and feeling nostalgic and really feeling the love in your heart. And this person, they definitely feel the love when they think about you. Okay, let me see one more message I'm able to tap into here. Okay, so I'm picking up either off of the sea or the ocean. So for those of you who live by the coast or near a water source, either it's a lake, a river, a stream, the ocean, of course, something along those lines, I'm feeling it's somebody who lives by the coast, and there's this image of somebody who likes to look at the water. It's very soothing for them. It's very relaxing. And that's the time when they really think very heavily about you. It calms them for some reason to be by the water, reminiscing about the memories and thinking about you, the viewer. Maybe that's something that you do as well, or this is something that you both enjoyed, going to the ocean, going to the beach, however way that makes sense. There's something to do with water. So either you live near it or they do, or there's something about the water that draws them in. They think about you, they miss you, and they really reminisce. That's another theme that's coming through here, feeling very nostalgic and thinking about you, missing you, and wondering ultimately what could have been if you guys would have stayed together. But I'm also picking up off of some challenges that might have happened there. So this is one of those situations where they could be far away from you geographically. They could live in another country. They could live in another city, another state, but they think about you often. They could simply be on the beach, sitting on the sand and thinking about you and reminiscing. And it fills their heart with happiness and love to be able to remember those memories because it's so vivid. And that could even be something that you're able to relate to as well. So maybe that in and of itself could be very comforting for some of you, that they do think about you still, that they do miss you, and really ultimately wishing that things could have been different. But also at the same time accepting what is. You know, so if that's not a possibility in this lifetime, they're actually at peace with that and just content and happy with remembering you in a very lovely way. All right, guys, so that's what is presenting itself here this time. And so I will make an announcement probably next week sometime as to when the future live streams will be. So I'm guessing at this point, since I do work now, that it'll probably be posted like today on a Sunday. Not exactly sure what time on a Sunday. So especially for those who are watching outside of the United States, you might view it on a Monday, or I don't know really how it works, how advanced in time other countries are. So just know that on my end, United States, West Coast, Pacific Standard Time, I will post it on a Sunday more than likely. But if it's anything other than that, please check my Instagram or my community tab here on YouTube for the latest information. All right, guys, that's it for now. Thank you so very much for listening, for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Take care.